So today we're going to swap out a single pole switch, which means it simply controls a fixture from one location, with a dimmer. And I'll explain a little bit more on what a switch does. Okay, here's how a switch works. You have a breaker panel with all your breakers in there, on off, for different circuits in the house. And the one that controls our fixture comes out of the breaker panel through the wire, through the wall, and into your fixture. Just like a light bulb. And a light bulb. And inside this wire, you have a black wire, and then coming back, you have a white wire, which is also called the neutral. So the current flows this way through the light bulb filament, glows, and the unused energy comes back to the neutral wire or the white wire, all the way back to the breaker panel, and actually flows back to the electric company. So the way a switch works, it simply cuts off the flow on the intake side in the opposition, and when it's on, it simply connects it back again. That's a simple switch. These are some of the most commonly used electrician's tools used when doing various projects. You have a screwdriver, needle nose pliers, wire stripper and cutter, side cutters, a voltage cutter called a sniffer. You don't have to actually touch the wire for it to register. And then you have a continuity voltage tester, which actually you have to use the points on the wire to get a reading here. Electrical tape, and I have a Phillips screwdriver attached to a cordless drill for convenience. Make sure the power is off at the breaker panel. So the first thing we're going to do, take the cover off, set it aside, of course, to replace later. Even though I turn the breaker off, I'm going ahead and double check and make sure there's no electricity at the switch, and it seems to be dead, which is a good thing. So I'll remove these two screws here that actually hold the whole switch in. And pull out and see what we have in here. There's our neutral wires and our black wires, which carry the electricity through the switch. So I'll remove those wires from the old switch. This is a ground wire, which is almost always on a green screw. Not always, but almost always. Okay, this dimmer is rated at 600 watts, which means it can run 6 100-watt light bulbs, but our fixture is only running 5 60-watt light bulbs, so we're well within our parameters. You may also notice that there's fins on this switch. These are actually heat sinks, because the way a dimmer switch works is actually has coil windings of copper inside there that resist the electricity flowing through there, and the extra energy is bled off through heat. The new switch is pretty much wired up identically to the old switch. I'm going to put the ground wire on first. Tighten down the green screw. Attach our energizing wires. Stick our wires back in the box. Tuck them in there. Put our switch screws back in. Nice and square, nice and level. Put our cover plate back on. I like to put my screws straight up and down, looks a little more professional. And let's go turn the power back on the breaker panel and test it out. Turn the breaker back on and go give it a test. And now the test